but would be fun as well. The Rise taken away too. See if they are going to take out the Orianna or if they were happy to first pick this one up. The Vi as well, banned out in the previous game, could easily be the first pick here out of NIP.
Certainly looks like something that they're setting up for. Things like Jarvan also very high priority and left up. The Vi going to be taken out though, a little bit easier to execute, which leaves EDG with the question, do they want to take the last premier jungler left? They do not. Instead picking the Olaf.
Never mind.
I'm going to say it. I don't love this because Olaf into Jarvan does suck.
Yeah, the Jarvan is totally an option right here. I mean, the Olaf as well. This is super early on to be grabbing this champion through.
What?
The Vayne obviously would have been really good into it, so maybe that was a bit of an indication you're going straight towards this pick, because what indeed, Yunara Lulu locked in. It's been really early on that we've been seeing NIP pick up their bot lanes. I agreed. We are going sort of back in time in this situation, not necessarily picking up the strongest picks in the bot lane that we're expecting to see. You know, Lucian tops the table, Ezreal tops the table, some of the premier picks in this current patch, but not really going to be seeing those now. I think the EDG can just respond with their bot lane as well. They're going to decide to go on towards the Caitlyn. Will they grab themselves the Bard? Yeah, okay. I guess they're just going to go towards the Bard, saying they could potentially have gone towards something a bit tankier because, again, they're going to put themselves in a situation where you don't really have a true tank.
What are NIP cooking here? I mean, the EDG composition I disagreed with. NIP, surely you slam a Jarvan here. It's completely free. It goes well with Yunara Lulu, gives your hyper carry a bit of frontline. I don't see why they wouldn't, and yet the lock gets picked up. Of course, the champion that I didn't see.
I mean, the lock, we talked about it coming into today. A really big pairing for both of these mid laners. Love to play them. Bulldog played a lot of lock, not necessarily to great success. Care was able to grab 3 games on it. All 3 were wins, I'm pretty sure, and he has just been eviscerating enemies on this champion. It has been a really good look pickup for this guy. Yeah. But like you said, they are cooking right here. I mean, expecting the Jarvan to be banned away out of EDG. If they don't, maybe you do just get it on that second rotation out of NIP. Right now, the composition is very aggressive. Obviously, the Yunara Lulu needs a little bit later to get into the game, whereas the lock, you want to be getting into your opponent's faces right from level 1. You need a heavy ganking jungler to be able to do that. You want a strong mid-jungle pairing for NIP. And right now, EDG kind of haven't really been squeezing that many of those junglers out.
Lock going to work really well into an EDG composition that is pretty dang squishy right now as well. And I say that Olaf included. Olaf is terrifying, but that guy can get blown up pretty darn quickly, especially if presumably ZDZ is unable to find a lead. See what NIP start going with is, again, Jarvan is still up, and we are just, what patch is this? What are we doing?
I mean, I like the Trundle for Guwon, although in this composition, right, who are you stealing those stats off of? Who are you getting tanky off of right here? I mean, the Olaf's not a terrible option, but we'll see what the remaining pickups are going to be. Maybe you grab yourself a Galio right here out of Bulldog. It's one of the better pairings that you have into the lock, can just sort of sustain on through. The Aurora isn't necessarily a great matchup. You can find burst kills. Instead, pivot straight away. Zoe going to be the lock-in right here. Now, have you seen this much, this split?
What are we doing? It's game 2. It's game 2, and the whole draft has been turned completely on its head. EDG, NIP, haymakers back and forth. Lock Yunara Lulu for NIP, and for EDG, a Zoe in the mid lane against this lock. Jarvan the pickup for EDG, going all the way in last pick, having fallen all the way through the draft. Xiaohao finally gets his champion, only to be answered by the one thing that we thought Xiaohao was going to play. Lee Sin hovered on the other side, and I see no reason not to lock this in.
I really like the pairing alongside the lock. It gives you a lot that you can do. Instead, pivoting over on towards the Kiana. Again, heavy ganking damage if you want it. Not so much lockdown to be able to put on through. And let's see what the Jarvan can do, because the Jarvan can counter gank really effectively. I just had a quick check. as well. This is the first Zoe that we're seeing in the LPL this split. I knew it was new to Bulldog this split, but yeah, it is going to be new to the LPL right here as well. And crazy drafts are plenty throughout this series so far.
If there's a game that I'm gonna curse, it's gonna be this game. I've almost cursed like 3 times in draft. We are incredible. This game is so wacky when compared to the meta that surrounds it. Yes, you can see the logic as we go through it with things like Olaf first pick, very powerful. At no point did NIP really counter this outside of a Trundle. It got flexed to the top lane. Trundle Olaf in the top lane, explosive. Lock Zoe in the mid lane, explosive. You throw in a Kiana in the jungle for good measure. You've got a good 2v2 with the Jarvan, and sure. And then Yunara and Lulu with Caitlyn Bard as well. These two teams have gone, well, for NIP, game 1 went well. Let's see how much further we can push it. And for EDG, game 1 went poorly. Let's just throw haymakers at them and see what happens.
Indeed, and I mean, for EDG, they've got a composition where that first item power spike is once again really, really damn strong. You are going to be in a great spot once you get those first items in. A little bit of a power trough, a little bit with the Caitlyn, right, with the Olaf. So they're going to have to keep the pace of this game really high if they want to get us into at least a game number 4.
Normally we'd be getting into game 2 in the regular season and saying backs against the wall. I am looking at this, and the wall is still involved. But this is more of a balls to the wall game. Just send it as much as possible at any given moment, even if that moment is 1 minute into the game where we are already fighting not just in the jungle, but in the bot lane. Photic, 200 HP. Leaf could flash on this, and Photic actually has to flash away. It's 1 minute in. We're burning summoners.
I mean, well, lethal tempo, I mean, the Bard as well does a shocking amount of damage, of course, with that electrocute. As we pan to the top lane, as EDZ also getting his head bonked in right here. Oh yeah,
more
doing
summoners.
Some big damage. I do like the little bit of swap around coming through, right? To put the Trundle not into the jungle, instead to push it into the top lane. It makes this Olaf matchup a hell of a lot less good than you would have otherwise expected. Now JJ trying to just steal away some cams is actually going to get the majority of these. Needs to be careful not to step up too far, although Yunara Lulu kind of weak at this point in the game. Certainly not going to be able to step to a Bard Caitlyn. We saw that earlier.
Yeah, and it's especially the fact that they are still at level 1 as well. Bulldog going to eat an auto from Care, but a good paddle star right back. And Zoe, not the worst matchup into Locke. Far, however, from the best. Locke has a lot of options to burst down Zoe and also to escape from a Zoe that is ahead, that does land a sleepy trouble bubble. Care can get out of that situation pretty darn easily. We're going to see Guwon try and respond to the invade that happened earlier. I thought it was going to be onto the Raptors, but as it appears, we're going Krugs for Krugs.
Indeed we are, and I mean, I don't mind this in this situation, right? You've also got ZDZ taking some decent chunks top lane. Don't think you're going to be looking for a dive right here between Guwon and Hoya. It would be a little bit bold, and giving the Olaf any early kills right here would be pretty devastating to the rest of this game. Really, for NIP, again, they just need to play this game with some level of restraint. Don't want to throw themselves at their opponents too much. Obviously, you do want to get this lock rolling as quickly as possible. Let's see what the Zoe can really do into this matchup. The Zoe itself is pretty strong individually, right? It's winning a lot in solo queues, on the rise recently, plenty of burst damage, you know, the standard thing that you're expecting out of a Zoe. Now, there's a reason we don't see it that much in competitive. It doesn't bring that much to the table beyond the sleepy trouble bubble unless you get really far ahead and can just be one-shotting people.
With ZDZ and Hoya just shoving waves back and forth into each other. Guwon showing up in the top lane does come just in the nick of time. Level 6 going to be an interesting tipping point, but right now, Trundle and Olaf, both champions that I would not like to take autos from at level 1, going up against each other, have been pushing this matchup to its limits. Neither having taken teleport early, so recall timing's actually important here, and Hoya does get a better wave state recall for him. This wave frozen near his tower and just now going to be pushed in by ZDZ. I think Hoya's going to miss maybe 1 or 2 minions.
Yeah, he is just going to be a little slow to be getting back into this play. Still, the Olaf during those first couple of levels is so incredibly strong. This is why you take yourself to Trundle, can just step up to it, push him around a little bit, and both going to get their exhausts back up pretty soon. I imagine they'll be going for each other's throats once again. Minute until the first Drake will be spawning, and with the early jungle priority that you should have towards these objectives, I'd like to see JJ moving towards this one. He is indeed heading straight down towards the bottom side of the map. If they start this one straight up, I wouldn't be mad, although we don't usually see that at this point in the split. Most teams kind of have been waiting a while to pick up that first Drake.
Especially with a ward already on it. Carriage is positioned quite well to make sure that there's not any stray poke that can come through from Bulldog. But the Lock's job to clear the wave right now and then to look for roams. Roams up to the top side even as Hoya's got another wave crashing. Guwon's already here. ZDZ not level 6 just yet. Going to try and clear as much of this wave as possible, making this dangerous for NIP. Exhaust gets dropped. Hoya going to continue underneath the tower as Care is going to take that last shot, but NIP pick up the first blood. Bulldog lands a sleepy trouble level. Nobody can really tank that for him, but Bulldog's not going to jump into 3 people, so we're all good. NIP pick up first blood.
Indeed, and you can see once again the power of that Soul Ignition, just so much available healing. You don't really mind tanking up a couple of extra tower shots as Care. Really well executed dive, and Hoya getting the kill right here. As much as I would have preferred it, of course, onto the lock, I still think this is really good for this matchup.
Lave just gets to continue autoing in the bot lane as well. Photic and Fengyue are going to be terrifying later, but early game, the Yunara Lulu, not what it once was.
I mean, it's still in a relatively strong spot, right? We've seen the Yunara be able to run through opposing champions with relative ease. It does take a while to really get online, though, right? You need a couple items under your belt to really start hitting. First item for the Caitlyn, and already this champion should really be online. 2-item spike is obviously pretty dang strong to be playing around. And so EDG, again, want to be keeping the pace of the game high. We said it in the previous game, we're going to be saying it once again. They've got push in the bot lane, they've got push in the mid lane. That should open up this Drake to be started up right here for JJ. As we once
Level
again
6
see
is hitting the top lane. It is most important. Exhaust's already gone down, and Hoya will die. The trade back on ZDZ, not going to happen. Sitting at 38 HP, hits the emote as well. Guwon should be able to pick up this kill on a ZDZ who has stuck around a little bit too long.
I mean, there's not really anything you can do. Yep, just one last auto attack to be able to take him out. Not ideal for Hoya, though. He gets that early kill, isn't actually able to make it work. Like you said, the level 6 being ticked is just so strong. And the Subjugate, it really doesn't do that much for you in this matchup.
Derek can continue this engagement. Oh, never mind, he got ignited. Until then, he was fine. And you know what? After that, he's going to be all right. Parukia not having so good of a time. Doesn't have stun up just yet, but Xiaohao having just finished off the dragon for EDG. Makes sure that he is all fine, all well and good, I think was where I wanted to start doing that. With about a minute left until the Void Grubs rotate up the top side for Photic and Fengyue. Puts them in position to at least keep their top side strong, since this doesn't appear to be matched by EDG.
No, and I mean, I like this right here out of NIP. You get Hoya out of a really terrible situation. Obviously, he's going to be pushed around by Leave. He does open Parukia up to go and start roaming around on the rest of the map, whereas Fengyue a little bit more tied to staying alongside his ADC. But it should mean that ZDZ isn't able to just keep farming onto this Trundle, isn't able to keep getting himself further and further ahead. And, like you said, brings a couple more members up for a potential grub fight.
3 people up in top lane, and Parukia, one of them. No level 6 on the Bard, pretty far away from that, all things considered, as the rest of the map has pretty easily eclipsed level 6. Hoya walking through the mid lane with his, eats another exhaust, and a sleepy trouble bubble to boot. That's a lot of damage coming out of Bulldog.
It is indeed, and you really don't want to get your top planer chunked down this badly right before the grub fight. Still, JJ, he's going to have to jump into a very dicey situation if he wants to steal one of these away. Will not be able to, and so it will be the Drake for grubs trade coming through in the end. And the teleport straight back down into the bottom lane coming through from Care. Now, he certainly can step to Leave. You've got to be careful right here as the EDG bot laner.
Leave getting giga strong. Check out that CS lead. Well, it's intact. Let's all just admire the art that's happening across the bot laners. Caitlyn having a very good time in this matchup, and even out of
Okay.
it. But Guwon wants to reverse that flash forward, and Care's going to pick up the first kill. The combination of Kiana and Locke is deadly. Is it deadly enough to take out Bulldog? Last out is going to land from Photic, and NIP blow up the game in 9 minutes.
Guwon is mad about not getting the MVP for the previous game. What a beautiful supreme display of talent right there. Just managing to catch all 3 members right there of EDG, and NIP explode onto the rift.
That was a stellar fight. And out of nowhere, this does not look like an engagement. But
A
Guwon,
supreme display of talent? I haven't seen a supreme display of talent out of a jungler that sexy ever. I think that might be the single best one that we've seen, because there's no play there if he doesn't do that, right? It's not like you're already in a team fight. And the fact that Photic is able to just about get that last auto attack through to pick himself up a kill as well. Oh, beautiful right there out of NIP.
could not have gone any better at all. They don't lose anyone. They pick up 4 kills. 3 kills? 4 kills? 3 kills. 3 kills. They pick up 3 kills. And NIP now have, although it seems meager, a 1,000 gold lead to work with off of an early game that was not going well for them. Leave's gotten to return to the bot lane, and it looks like he'll be grabbing first tower of the game, and nobody wants to deal with this Caitlyn. But NIP clearly have other avenues of success.
Indeed they do. Sleepy Trouble not quite going to land, otherwise GDZ, I'm pretty sure would have been popping that ulti and running on forwards. We're having a real coalescing of champions up in the top lane right now. You can see Care push that mid lane wave through and now is rotating over. He is a little bit spotted out. Doesn't matter, he's just going for Bulldog. Should be able to walk this one out.
Sleepy Trouble bubble does connect though. Really nice discipline from Bulldog to hold on to that. GG.
Oh,
looks for the commit forward. Supreme display of talent. Gonna connect onto him as Guwon goes over the wall. Incredibly difficult to punish. Care, even exhausted, is in the back line. Looks for Jeje and actually picks him up. Care gets out alive. EDG are gonna get nothing. And 2 minutes later, NIP do the same thing to them, but even worse.
Indeed, it's all coming up NIP right now. The discussion earlier, do we still need Group Ascent and Group Nirvana? I mean, this is more evidence to say no. NIP, the Group Nirvana representatives, just making a mockery right here of EDG. That fight was so close. Care is spotted, right? He is on this control ward. Bulldog is obviously going to be able to get himself away from the ulti, and then ends up with that Sleepy Trouble bubble landing. Care takes so much damage here. The polymorph is everything. JJ all of a sudden in a terrible spot. Supreme Display of Talent landing here is huge. And then watch Care in this situation. You think he should be heading back away, right? There's no way you can keep on jumping forwards, stepping up to your opponents. No, doesn't care. Action pursuit forwards, landing all of those ritual nails as he needs to.
I think you can't fight an NIP right now. I'm sorry.
Just walk away.
The 1,000 gold lead is one thing. Yeah.
When do you get to fight them? You've got yourself a Caitlyn, Jarvan, Olaf composition. If you can't fight them now, when do you fight this NIP composition?
Just to be clear, EDG have a Jarvan Olaf composition. Caitlyn has been in the side lane this entire game.
That's true.
And I'm not even saying that as like flame. That's not a unanimously bad thing, and I think NIP have found a lot of fights. I think it's the right decision from him. I think he needed to sit in the side lane, right? He has his Hexopics. He's got himself a couple of extra components as well. Level 10 has just been hit. He's the highest level on his team. Right? The bot laner is the highest level on his team right now. He's in a good spot. He needed to be on the side lane to be able to get himself this gold together, but hang on. Trap right there. Oh. All good.
Goodbye,
Didn't need it. Picks up a kill as well. That's Leave's first kill of the game, despite being, up until that point, 2,000 gold up on his opposition. NIP will answer top side, though, as Care grabs another.
Care's so strong right now. I mean, at this point, with the lock, you can just kind of one-tap any of your opponents, right? Has goes towards the Storm Surge as well, so he's just looking for that full burst potential. 10 stacks on the Dark Seal. Let's see if he turns that one into a nice quick Medjay's. And I mean, the fact he's not even gotten Lichbane first, right? Straight towards the Storm Surge. He's looking to just one-tap kids.
If we get more fights like this, though, where Leave isn't a part of it, EDG are throwing. And I'm not saying that like in a in a way where I don't think they can win the game. They absolutely can, but Leave has to be a part of it, and there's no way around it anymore. The lead has extended too long for NIP, and fortunately Leave is still able to fight against it, as we see there. Photic does look scary. I agree, Bloxer. Leave?
Yeah. I mean, I was both scared of him and scared for him in that situation, right? Was getting a little bit aggressive with that one. Obviously, had Fengyue in his back pocket, while Growth going to do a lot to keep him alive. Still, the first items for everybody else on EDG are only just being scraped together now. You haven't got first item for Bulldog. You haven't got first item for ZDZ. Bulldog's down by 1,300 gold just 15 minutes into this game, and dear, it's not looking good for you as his agent right now.
I was gonna say, as his agent, let me hit you with it. This is not his fault. This is like so not Bulldog's. I mean, it's his problem. But I've been watching the Zoe game. I'm a Bulldog enjoyer. I'm a Zoe enjoyer. Should we have picked Zoe here? I don't know. But
hell no. This composition could have loved an Orianna. In fact, I think the Orianna slipped straight through.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was up.
It did.
What?
It did
what
indeed.
Patch is
slip
this?
Straight
what?
through.
Like, have we secretly like changed everything about this game and just not told us? Like, is there some LPL graphic that's untranslated that's like, oh, I'm sorry, the current patch broke and we had to go back to last split?
Maybe. Hey, as much as I'm saying the Orianna going straight through, to be fair, playing it into the lock is kind of miserable, and you can see it right now. Care jumping into ZDZ's face is just going to get the exhaust straight out of ZDZ. That's a nice cooldown to be able to blow it away from him. You can potentially go back in if you want to onto this Olaf, recognizing that ZDZ will have to back away, and nobody is responding to Hoya up in the top lane. Mid lane tower at least does forward something for EDG. They're keeping within touching distance when it comes to the gold, but with a composition that really spikes hard in these early stages of the game, the fact that they're behind right now and playing catch-up is just such a terrible sign.
Speaking of things that nobody's answering, Leave is still just taking towers. He's walking around the map. He's playing PvE League of Legends. And he is, I think, likely going to back with the second item now. Is there a point where Leave, after not engaging with the game, just wins the game? That's second item.
I don't know that I'd want to hang my hat on Caitlyn's solo carry, really.
Sure.
There's a chance, right? The combo between the Bard and the Caitlyn's obviously very strong. You've got plenty of opportunity to put traps down underneath somebody that's been hit with that Tempered Fate. Same thing with Zoe. Hit a Sleepy Trouble Bubble, you can then chuck a trap underneath. That can look really good as well. So there are opportunities. Leave is set up for success in this game, and with his second item coming faster than almost anybody else in this game, he is in a good spot. Still, you can see having to play with so much respect. Is he actually going to step up in this game when there's a lock hunting on his head, when there's a Kiana hunting for him as well? Can you actually step up and not just get pillared back or polymorphed by Fengyue? I mean, I don't know that he's going to be able to carry this one out fully, but he's done as good as he could so far.
All eyes on Leave, as unfortunately Tempered Fate is not going to connect. Teleport, however, does bring Hoya right into EDG. Their carries, however, trapped in the river, aren't able to access this fight just yet. Kair's going to get hit by the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Gets out, however, as Bulldog and Leave go forward. Kair manages to half health Leave in an instant, but he's still cutting Hoya back, as ultimately a chop will end his life. Bulldog is in this as well, even on the Zoe, looking to get fancy with it, and he does! Dancing on their graves, EDG Uno reverse card NIP, 17 minutes in.
There we go, that's going to be the almost clean ace right here. Leave going to be the only member going down, but he did his job. Big damage coming through from the ADC of EDG. And all of a sudden, that 2.5k gold lead that they were sat on evaporates in front of our eyes. And second Drake of the game goes down as well. We'll have a look back at this one. The initial engage doesn't really work, but it does blow a bunch of these big cooldowns out of multiple members of NIP. This teleport is just, it's too aggressive, right? You're not really strong enough as the Trundle to not just get immediately jumped. But as we've been talking about, right? Watch Leave. Watch what Leave is able to do. Stepping up, being aggressive, even with getting knocked up right here. He's still doing big damage, and it's enough to draw the members in. Maybe you could count it as a mispositioning error once again from him, but hey, if it works, it works.
You definitely can. Just to be extremely clear, Yes, EDG won that fight. Yes,
Hey,
Leave did a lot of
baits your
damage.
opponents in to kill you. It's good, right?
That's true. You know who else was... Thank you, Bulldog, for making yourself relevant as I was thinking that. You know who else was good that fight? Bulldog on Zoe.
Yeah.
Played quite well. He and Leave together. Very scary, but also NIP maybe paying them a little bit of disrespect in that fight.
Oh yeah, they were feeling themselves way too much in that situation, and nobody's able to find that big ulti to start things off right here. Instead, everything being used defensively to try to fight back, get away from all of the damage EDG was laying down. And I cannot overstate just how much that has erased the gold gap that we were seeing previously, right? Bulldog had barely scraped together a first item not 5 minutes ago. 2 full items now completed. He's also equaling the amount of stacks on his Dark Seal that his opponents are. Just a really good fight out of EDG, and it shows us a sign of life in this series.
We may even get another one. Ults. Let's all back up. Leave going to be getting his ghost back soon. Sleepy Trouble Bubble will not connect, and a Soul Ignition makes Ace in the Hole completely irrelevant. And IP collect the first standing tower for EDG in mid lane. Actually opening things up for them pretty widely. EDG, for all that even the first game did not go their way, they've done a really good job of keeping mid lane tower standing across 2 games.
Indeed they have, and they've been using that pressure decently well, finding ways to steal away a couple camps and just trying to find some level of flank onto their opponents. Hasn't necessarily been working out for them every single time. We are seeing some critical second items coming on in. That's going to be the Runans completed here for Photic. He's going to be hitting really hard now. Lichbane as well, now completed for Care. He went for the full burst build by grabbing himself the Storm Surge first, but now he's just going to be absolutely impossible to deal with if he gets himself some level of backline access. But as we're talking about this third item now completed for Leave, clearly sitting in the side lane by himself for the first 20 minutes has worked pretty dang well.
Fengyue looking for a way into the river, but Parukia getting to cut off a little bit of the vision. We get to see the top lane rematch once again as exhausts are going to be traded. Hoya finally winning this matchup that he picked himself into. The Trundle v Olaf is not gonna, it's not gonna shift back. At this point, we've passed the whatever the horizon, and Olaf doesn't get side lane anymore.
And I mean, this is, again, quite a defensive Olaf build coming through as well with that Hex play. And I get it. You want your ulti up more often, right? But, it doesn't feel good when your Olaf has to go Hex play first.
No, it does not. No, it does not. I can't help but chuckle. EDG are going to answer this. Hoya is getting ganked and should be super dead. If he's not super dead, something has gone super wrong.
Okay, Leave sniping onto that one as well, getting that big boy damage on through, and just keeping himself so far ahead, 2.3k ahead right now. This is the Leave that we want to be seeing. Now, if he can keep his positioning tight, not make any mistakes going on forwards, they should be in a pretty good spot for EDG. I had questions about whether or not he was going to be able to carry the team through, but so far, not actually looking so bad overall. Still, with Baron now spawned, that's going to be the main focus for both of these teams. 30 seconds, though, until the Drake is up. It will be soul point for EDG if they can grab it, and with it being an Infernal, going to be a very enticing Drake indeed.
The precarious thing about having Leave be your win condition is that, first of all, he's Caitlyn, and one misstep can have you blown up instantly. Yeah. And the other is that it's Leave. And he does that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. One misstep is often 2 or 3 in a game overall, and yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to fix that one right now. It's been a problem that's haunted him pretty much throughout the entirety of his career. Now, around the last Drake was where things began to go wrong for NIP, looking for some amends at the moment. They do obviously have the Olaf behind them a little bit right now, as Photic actually going to get caught out on the side lane.
Pesky Krugs. Going to make it impossible to hit any follow-up, but Bulldog's still very threatening, and he's going to land another one. Bulldog's kind of locked in with these bubbles.
Absolutely. Here's now ZZZ as we were saying, right, a little bit of a flank coming on through. I mean,
EDG win this.
Big damage onto Care as well. You can see the snap trap line has been set up too, and NIP, they recognize that there's no way for them to step into this one, and this is going to continue on through the rest of this game. If they are the second team to these objectives, there's no way for them to play these out, especially on the Drake pit, right? With them being on blue side, stepping up to this objective is going to be almost impossibly difficult, and soul point for EDG is really nice.
I saw that fight brewing, and I got a little amped, you know, hit a little stretch before the team fight, and NIP, they recognize it as well as we do that EDG definitely had a winning angle on a fight that really they should have no access to, given how horribly behind EDG were earlier. The fact that this is even at all is crazy. ZDZ is dead. Is ZDZ dead?
Care should have one more jump forwards coming up in just a second. There it is. Yeah, he is just going to leap in, pick himself up that kill. He doesn't exactly get everything he wanted out of it, right? The Purgatory doesn't land, so you're not going to get yourself that execute, that little bit of extra stacking coming on in. But still, another kill going down, going to be pretty nice. And that's the top laner now dead, with the Baron up and available as a potential option.
A lot of damage that Xiaohao takes to save his turret a few autos, but take it he will. Dutifully. Xiaohao was in the front lines last game, and he will be doing a lot of that again this time. Even on the Jarvan, who has been a little, I want to say not the focus for EDG, but as you mentioned in the last game for Guwon, Jarvan's been annoying. Jarvan's been taking up a lot of space, a lot of time, and for an EDG roster that was a little bit behind, maybe a little bit less so now, that's all you need. You need your Jarvan to be the thing they hit instead of your Caitlyn.
Exactly. As long as the Jarvan's been able to absorb some pressure, same sort of thing with ZDZ on the Olaf, things are going to be looking pretty good for them. I think the other thing you're going to need to win this game overall from EDG is Parukia to kind of step up. He's not been particularly proactive in this game, hasn't been hitting any big tempered fates either. Hasn't been finding flank angles really with the portals so much. If he's able to hit any of those big during these team fights, you really will be setting your team up for success. And you're going to have a pretty big opportunity coming up right here. Obviously, the Baron, the main focus both of these teams are looking towards, but the longer they do this dance, the closer we're going to get to that soul being available for EDG.
JJ going to start walking up. The EDC teleport available is pushing out the bot lane for right now. Just applying a little bit of pressure for EDG, making sure that they have options should this fight not go their way. But at the moment, NIP quite wisely are not going to fall into the trap of trying to start something around Baron and getting it turned around on them, especially with something like a Jarvan Olaf that can run you down after you've been pre-weakened by a Baron. NIP do have the advantage of being able to play quite conservatively, and on your screen right now is a big reason why. The first and second pick, Yunara Lulu, that had my mind exploded, have hit 3 items. And while that is a far distance from the 6 that Photic can complete, it's relevance and certain relevance for Photic and Fengyue.
Exactly, I mean, the Lord Dom's going to make it that much easier to get through JJ. Make sure that you're able to deal the damage to who you are most likely going to be hitting at the beginnings of these fights. You can make short work of this Jarvan. It's going to make the rest of these fights a heck of a lot easier. And you can see the vision lines really beginning to be set up right now. The control going over to EDG once again, and this is the big problem for NIP. They can't step to these objectives second, but they don't really have the pressure to be able to step up and put down as much vision as they really need to ensure that they've got easy access paths in. Part of the problem, of course, with a Lulu, you really just need to be on the hip of your ADC, whereas Parukia, he is free to roam around and get where he needs to go.
NIP are shaping up for Dragon in just under a minute. Soul point for EDG. Not a whole lot of vision control for either team. NIP with numbers are going to be first to the objective, something that you mentioned was critical for them.
So important.
They can't afford to let EDG set up, and
that was nearly a certified leave moment.
Yeah, that was solved with 190 cal. We've got another missed position in us.
Oh, yeah.
By no leave. There's time in this game yet, but NIP poised to take advantage of it.
Ooh,
Our 4v5 right now.
Reset coming on through right here. Out of Hoya, and that's really late for him to be doing that. He's now clearing out a wave mid lane. This is a 4v5.
There goes the trap line. Teleport in, but EDG, I think, are going to be able to take this dragon. It might come down to a smite fight, but Hoya, going on a very big flank, is going to try and draw some of the attention.
Okay,
Guwon goes for the supreme display of talent again. The killer instinct out of this jungler is incredible as EDG completely lose control inside of the pit. Photic jumps over the wall, and NIP, they managed to find another team fight off the back of Guwon, who plays hero for the squad once again. An ace for NIP. The dragon, an afterthought as they pick it up. And NIP are looking for the base.
They can indeed. It's 25 seconds until anybody relevant is going to be back up and available. You've got this wave pushing in through the bottom side. And with a Trundle on your side, these towers are going to be melted through. 15 seconds now until Leave is back up.
First tower gone. Parukia gonna buy a little bit of time by Zanyasing the tower, but not gonna be able to stand in the way of NIP any longer. That is a Guwon game. That comes down to that's jungle diff, and no flame on GG. That game was jungle diff.
Guwon, take a bow. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, a superb display of talents, already such a sick ability when you get a big one of them off, but I feel like I don't see multi-man supreme display of talents in competitive that often. Usually people are a little bit more conscious of not positioning near the walls, conscious of the fact that, you know, the Kiana can get to you if you step a little bit too close, but Guwon finding angles from really far away. I don't know how much I can even blame EDG for getting caught out right there. Guwon coming from across the screen multiple times. We got that fight up in the topside jungle. We get that fight to end things out around the Dragon Pit as well. Man, he was, you know, a couple votes for him for MVP through from the casters and stuff we saw in the previous game. This is surely unanimous.
Yeah, commentators vindicated from game one. They saw the Cho'Gath, they saw Guwon, and they were like, he deserves so much better. And in the second game, man, does he get so much better. That was absolutely gorgeous. And in a situation like that, yes, EDG had ways back in. EDG even looked like they had a good fight ahead of them. I almost never sit here after a cast to just go, oh well, it was X rolls diff and that's just it. It was, you know, they just got gapped. But in a situation like this, it's so just unbelievably positive for Guwon that there's very little else to say. Like it's GG played well. We were talking about him on the, like, it's not about anybody not doing their job. It's about somebody going so far above and beyond. NIP clearly really want to hit playoffs, and that'll be the way that they get closer to doing it. What are you laughing about?
Two things. A, this is a pretty fun LPL goal graph, right? As much as it never goes that far into EDG's favor, I mean, holy. Yeah. Holy. Over on the other side of things, the fact that the top laners do so much more damage than everyone else tells you what kind of game this was. They were hitting each other 97% of that fight. That's where most of that damage has come through, was from them scrapping. Whereas we just had a couple big team fights coming through. I really like, and what has really encouraged me about this win out of NIP, is that they showed great restraint. In first game as well, with, you know, not fighting too much early on and just fighting when their composition came online. But in this game, I thought they were going to go fight for that Drake. Not the last one that we saw, but the one previously. I really thought they were going to go step up, compete for that objective, and with the way the fights have been going, with the setup that they didn't have around that objective, it would have gone horribly wrong. I love that they recognized that and went, okay, no, we're just going to walk away, let you take this objective, we'll find some gold on the rest of the map, not fight in a bad situation, and then in that next Drake fight that we see, they actually have some setup, they have some ability to step to their opponents, and then they're able to make the fight work. Really, really nice right there.
Absolutely stellar. This is one of those situations as well where, in case we couldn't tell by watching the game, you can tell by the way that the highlight reel is edited who the MVP is going to. I mean,
who else was it? Who else was it going to be, right? Photic had a couple nice moments.
I'm just saying this is, you know, one of those situations where they're not dissembling here. This is This is a very, very clear game. NIP did have a couple of other bright points. The lock actually looked quite good. The early Yunara Lulu ended up doing its job just fine. And this was, to EDG's credit, one of the fights that actually went pretty well for them.
Yeah, they had a few moments in this game where I really thought they were going to be able to do it. As we said, right, maybe a bit of mispositioning error out of leave, but it does bait people in a little bit too far. This composition that they had, if they don't get all hit with the supreme display of talent at once, if they're able to kite out the initial bit of engage and then make the team fights work, it will go well. But
mama.
when Guwon does something like this to you, I mean, holy, what are you even meant to do about it in that situation? The supreme display of talent multiple times landing onto multiple members was nice. Photic here too, really well played to just get himself in the face of his opponents. And that was the whole thing for this composition. Can you actually close the gap? Can you actually get into the backline? Multiple times the answer was yes, and that's why they come away with the win.
Yeah, Photic did play play really, really well this game, but it did not get the screen time that it otherwise might have had it gone longer, given how quickly this game ended and at the hands of whom. NIP now have won 2 games. EDG, here I was going, you know what, don't let the game 1 tilt get to you. It's all good. You got game 2. I suspect it's getting to them now. That was actually a very winnable game for EDG. As much as we were talking about NIP looking really good, EDG had a Caitlyn that was scaling up really well. Their Zoe was playing incredibly. They had a Jarvan and they had an Olaf, which compositionally is extremely difficult to deal with. EDG had ways back in, and they lost it to this man right here.
Yeah, they did. Guwon picking himself up the MVP of this game, as we expected. You know it's an incredible game out of a jungler when they get 2 kills and they are still your MVP, right? Usually the LPL voters, they're pretty swayed by the KDA at the end of the game, and, you know, 2 kills, 2 deaths, so it's not necessarily jumping out of the screen at you, but it's really a, did you watch the tape? Did you watch the game right here? Because it was just such an incredible performance out of him to find multiple big engages. He had to for the team, and on a champion like the Qiyana, it's hard for you to be the engage for your team, for you to set things up.
And if he doesn't do that, we come out of this game...
Correct votes from everyone.
Yeah. If he doesn't do that, we come out of this game and we go, oh, I guess they just weren't able to do it. You know, like it's not like he needs to be doing it, and we all know that this is the moment where Qiyana's going to pop off. He's finding these angles where on paper you look at it and you go, well, you know, if you don't find the engage, you just don't. It's natural. And Guwon's not letting the game slide by him here.
No.
Taking absolute maximum advantage of the situation and of EDG's unpreparedness, I suppose. Guwon now takes NIP up to 0 in a huge way. I have so many good things to say about him, but I've said his name way too many times in the past couple of minutes to make any more salient points. So we are going to take a break.